to be, so when the betrothal happens, you now start to train her to be able to be in line with that man. Even though she's under your roof, you're still trying to tie them together better, right? Until she's mature to handle the full situation. What's dope about it, she got to a certain age and nobody wanted your daughter. Hey, what do you do? What do you do? Hey, baby girl, I know it's getting dark, but just run to the store and grab. Now, I'm jokingly saying this, but she gets, she got to go do some things. Now, if that scenario were to happen, guess what? He can't put her away. It's not regular marriage vows. It's a different now situation. It's the same, but but stipulations. There's no, you can't divorce somebody that you burn that much for that you got to go take it and can't go ask the father as you're supposed to. You got to pay top dollar, even if she ain't worth top dollar. Like, these are things that you got to understand. That was a righteous judgment. And
that judgment actually prevented that type of situation from happening.
Yeah.
Men would have been like, nah, because if I'm looking at her in the flesh and I'm thinking I like that right now.
Right.
But if I actually take that, there's no telling what I'm dealing with after that.
Yeah, I might have a dragon.
Yeah.
But guess what? You got to keep that dragon.
But now you broke. Now you got to buy it.
Yeah.
And now you can't put that away. You got to deal with that to the grave.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
That situation can backfire on your ass.
Yeah.
Women were covered up back then. So.
Yeah. You didn't know what was going on, really.
What you got?
And you didn't have that interaction with them to be digging into their mind and finding out. You didn't have that interaction like that. So you was pretty much rolling the dice. The only way you knew what she was about was through her family line. And so, is her father gonna let you just take her in the forest or in the whatever when she's out there picking berries and shit? No. But if she out there by herself, and like the scenario breaks it down. We're just breaking it down without having to read it, but when you read it, it breaks the full scenario down. But you can begin to understand.
That's why you gotta know the law. You know what the law say. You're not gonna judge on your feelings. You're gonna go according to what the law say.
Yep, I got something.
Yep.
We got a judgment from King Solomon. 1 Kings 3:15. And Solomon awoke, and behold, it was a dream, and he came to Jerusalem and stood before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, offered burnt offerings and offered peace offerings, and made a feast to all his servants. All right, here comes the point. Then came there 2 women, they were harlots unto the king. They were harlots unto the king, and stood before him. And the woman said, O my Lord, I and this woman dwell in one house, and I was delivered of a child with her in the house. And it came to pass the 3rd day after that I was delivered, that this woman was delivered also. And we worked together, and there was no stranger with us in the house, save we 2 in the house. And this woman's child died in the night, because she overlaid it. And she arose at midnight and took my son from beside me, while thine handmaid slept, and laid it in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. And when I rose in the morning to give my child suck, behold, it was dead. But when I considered it in the morning, behold, it was not my son which I did bear. And the other woman said, Nay, but the living is my son, and the dead is thy son. And this said, No, but the dead is thy son, and the living is my son. Thus they spake before the king. Then said the king, the one saith, This is my son that liveth, and thy son is dead. And the other saith, Nay, but thy son is dead, and my son is the living. And the king said, Bring me a sword. And they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, Divide the living child into 2, and give to the one, and give half to the one and the half to the other. Then spake the woman whose the living child was unto the king, for her bowels yearned upon her son. And she said, O my lord, give her the living child, and no wise slay it. But the other said, Let it be neither mine nor thine, but divided.
Selfish ass. Damn, bro. But that's what but the judgment of even coming up with something like that.
Yeah.
Like Daniel came up, oh, pull him to the side. Let me ask you privately, what kind of tree was that Susanna saw that happen? And then what kind of tree was that? And it wasn't the same tree, colluding that it was a lie. Same here, exposing a lie because he knew that the woman, the actual mother, would basically she just wanted her to feel as bad as she felt because she didn't have a son. Basically, they understood it wasn't about giving them half, about killing her baby too. That's fucked up.
Verse 27.
Yep.
She do that. Yeah.
Then the king answered and said, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. She is the mother thereof. And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had judged, and they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of Yahweh was in him to do judgment.
And he asked for wisdom. He asked for that wisdom to what it say? Give me the wisdom to judge such a greater people as this. Because he understood how what's the word? Peculiar the Lord's people are. You're gonna have scenarios, man, that you're gonna have to
come to you with all kind of crazy shit.
Yeah. Like nowadays, Jake has all kind of stupid ass questions sometimes, man. South America gonna be destroyed?
I get it, but damn, where you live at? North America, just shut the fuck up and worry about getting off this mother. Like, JP.
But you gotta have that knowledge, that wisdom to know how to judge, to deal with Jake, to be able to, not cut Jake out, but to give Jake logical explanations,
Remember we were talking about we talked about the other day on the strip, and he was like, so remember when the two angels came to, or the three angels, whatever, came to Abraham, told him about what he was about to do with Sodom and Gomorrah. Then they said there was two, and then he said there was, we were like, so did the one angel stay with Abraham? Bro, worry about salvation, man. You gotta kind of, the guy Jack back to the point.
But if they coming to you with trivial, little dumb shit, how much more if you put them in a responsibility to decide and make discerning decisions, man. Jake would not pan too well as a judge. We're supposed to be wise, man. The Lord's getting ready to put us in position to judge the earth. We're getting ready to judge the world, man. 1 Corinthians, the sixth chapter. These niggas can't even get over the hurdle of grape and amongst other things, man. Can't even get over that. Can't even get over the Sabbath, man.
Yeah.
Can't even get over the Sabbath day. Bro.
Okay. Yeah.
Y'all will be horrible priests, man. You'll be horrible judges and priests, man. Y'all not true, real priests of the Most High.
That's one of the simplest things to understand.
God. Even though, we're not under the law, we're more so under grace. Even though we're supposed to try to keep the law, but come on, man. But we're supposed to be knowledgeable in the law.
Yeah.
And then if you hold yourself to that standard of keeping the law, then you should know how to keep it.
Yeah.
Correctly, man.
What did it say in Sirach 3? It says, seek not out the wisdom that is too high for these, but what is commanded thee,
think thereupon with
think
reverence.
thereupon with reference. Respect that. The things that you can understand and keep, you should be trying to master those things.
Yeah.
What's the point of that? I got something right quick. This is it's like in 1 Corinthians chapter 2. I'll start up at 13. It says, which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, because that's man's wisdom, especially now, is full of emotion.
Man's wisdom teach you that Sabbath is on Sunday or Saturday, or Friday to Saturday.
That's a precept of men. The fear of the Most High is taught by the precepts of men. You can have sex on a Sabbath day.
Bro.
You could go work out. You could go to the gym on a Sabbath day. It's just a day of rest.
Bro. What that simple Jake said, when we bring up the precept.
Talking about Isaiah 58, we're talking about
Perfect. Yeah, you already know.
basically abstaining from
Pleasures. Yeah.
on that.
Oh
on that
yeah, and then
road.
they said ice cream or something.
Yeah,
What? Bro.
tripping.
Yeah, then they either go too light on the understanding or they go too deep
Bro.
and they just go one deep.
Hey, it's all about balance.
Be not over righteous over much. Right? You gotta destroy yourself.
Right. It says, which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Ghost teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. It's something that Apostle Torah said, he used to say all the time, everything is spiritual. You just got to see it with a spiritual eye. Some of the most carnal things go back to something spiritual that's really taking place. But Jake don't never see that level, and usually see the carnal level of it, and then try to judge it spiritually. You can't do it that way. You got to judge it spiritually, right? As Paul's about to say, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. You got to decide between how to judge this. Should I judge this carnally or should I judge this spiritually? The whole grape situation, when a woman is not betrothed and she didn't belong to nobody, that's a spiritual judgment. You got to pay now. You got to pay top dollar, and you can't ever put her away. No matter what's wrong with her. No matter what, if you burn that deep to do that, to be dishonorable to do that, this is what you get. Right? It's heavy, bro.
Can't put her away, and like you said, you gotta pay the top dollar. I was showing the brother an article where it said that's back in the ancient world, that was 5 to 7 years of work that you have to, pay the father.
Yeah. Wages, bro.
40 shekels?
50.
Yeah.
50 shekels
Top
of silver.
dollar.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's
The
a lot.
going rate was like
What's
30.
that?
Depending on where she was at. The going rate, give or take, you negotiate that between fathers. But at the end of the day, if you did that, you have to pay.
That's a hefty fine right there.
The son of a governor or or a priest or something, it's top dollar. It says, but he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judged of no man. For who have known the mind of the Lord that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of Hamashiach. Oh, here we go, verse 1, chapter 3, verse 1. And our brethren could not speak unto you as unto spiritual, but as unto carnal.
Oh, man.
Hey, speaking of spiritual things versus carnal, a lot of regular people see that as nothing special. That's special to us. That's special and beautiful to us. Okay? And I know there's a reason they made that move right there.
Yeah.
As the sun went over the mountain. And the sun stopped being on the block. Yeah?
Formation.
We didn't hear any squawking or none of that
Nothing.
shit. They just did it at once. It says, 1 Corinthians 3, verse 1, it says, and I, brethren, could not speak unto you as unto spiritual, but as unto carnal, even as unto babes in Hamashiach. Okay? So we can't even really get deep with a lot of people. A lot of the deeper conversations that happen aren't on camera, man. A lot of times brothers is just amongst each other. And depending on the understanding of the brother, can these things really even be talked about? Then we have to start expounding. And a lot of it, some of it, I ain't gonna say a lot, but some of it is just stuff that we're talking about for the fun of hypothesizing, in a leisurely conversation. Nothing to be taken at full face value. But just expounding and brother, somebody across the brother, share it. Dream or whatever the case may be. But if you told some of these things to a regular Jake in the world, he'd been made a doctrine out of it.
Yeah.
You've been in a whole belief system based off of a dream you had that was really didn't seem to mean nothing. But he went super deep into the shit.
Bro. I don't know if y'all got to see the video, but these two dudes, they supporting that dude Judah Maccabees, that got exposed or whatever. Two dudes who they used to follow, they was following us, but they turning out for whatever reason.